this road. Hand in hand, we've been learning how to love and to grow. 40 years in the making, and we're still here today. Carry around and know that God's love paves the way. Whether brand new rings or the lines on your face, we're finding grace in the sacred place. We laugh when it's hard and we fight there too, 'cause God's got a plan for me and you. We're keeping it H-O-T, honest, open, transparent, you see. Bridging hearts, baby, where love's supposed to be. From the vows we set to the dreams we chase, we're building forever in God's embrace. So, bridging hearts. From the kitchen table talks to the prayers laid.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining us this lovely, bright, sunny Monday morning.
Cold morning. It's still cold.
We do appreciate you guys joining us. So right now we'd like to welcome you guys to another episode of Marriage on Purpose,
Yes.
where we believe strong marriages don't happen by accident. They happen on purpose. And we're your hosts, Jerry and Rhonda Jackson. And this space is all about honest conversation, practical wisdom, real stories to help couples grow stronger, communicate better, and stay connected in every season of their lives.
Right.
So we want to thank you guys for joining this morning. We're going to, as you guys coming in, we just like you to like and share this broadcast. There may be those who may be viewing this, who may need to view this later. We ask that you share it, that you think it may be an inspiration to them, that it would help them and grow in their lives. Okay.
Right. And so this is the first Monday of the month. And so on the first Monday, we endeavor to come on ourselves to give you what we believe God is sharing with us to share with you. And so we come on ourselves. Normally we do interview couples and to get their view on marriage. And so we ask that if you know of any couples that would like to be on our broadcast, that you inbox us and let us know, and we would love to send them the information in order to be a guest on our show. Okay, so
Amen.
Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into today's conversation.
So we have a very interesting conversation today, and I think we all dibble and dabble in it a little bit, or have did it a little bit. And the subject we're going to be talking about today is transformation or a transactional marriage. And what do we mean by that? When we talk about transactional, it means to deal with people on an exchange basis. I'll give you something because I'm expecting something back from you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll do this if you do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it focuses immediately on returns. It doesn't deepen connection. It keeps a score instead of building trust. And when we talk about transformational marriages or even relationships, it deepens the shift in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about improving, if you have, it's just about changing the way you operate, changing the way and how you feel about yourself in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it means unlearning, old patterns and old mindsets and
Mm-hmm.
old version of yourself.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about, where you can grow and add who you are and transform changes like, who am I, opposed to, what can I do for you, or what can you do for me? So it's very interesting topic. I know we've all been there, and we all kind of been engaged in that as well. But understanding that transformation regarding transactional marriage can help you sustain your marriage and grow.
Yeah. So as my husband was saying, good morning, Monique. How are you, sweetie? So transactional marriage, it's like a scorekeeper, right? And so when we are in a transactional marriage, we're keeping score. It's like, I'm only going to do this for you if you do that for me. And, so it's more so being evaluated. And so and it gets kind of frustrating when you're in that type of marriage, because you only doing for one because they're doing for you. And so, and you're not doing any more. You're not going out of your way. You're not doing any more than they're doing because you don't want to outdo them in the giving. And so that's more of a transactional marriage. And so we're going to talk about points that's saying if you're in a transactional marriage or if you're in a transformational marriage. And so
Mhm.
right now we're talking about the transactional
Right.
marriage,
We're talking about the dangers of
the
actually
dangers of it.
of
Yeah.
being in a transactional marriage. And
Hmm.
like my wife spoke earlier, it creates a scorekeeping culture.
Yeah.
When you always tracking about who did what,
Hmm.
nobody feels free. Love starts to feel like, you're measuring it.
Yeah.
You know, your effort evaluate. You evaluate generosity with it dries up actually
Yeah.
because you're looking for everything that feels calculated. Hey,
Hmm.
if you did this, so now I'm gonna remember you did this. So and it's not committing yourself to one another. It's
Right.
it's kind of keep a score where you did this last time and you
Hmm.
did this time, and it creates that culture which you really don't grow together with one another. You're really not committed to one another. You're just keeping score who did what, and then
Hmm.
you react off of that.
Yeah, and it breeds quiet resentment. It builds silent expectations. You expect appreciation, you expect reciprocation, and you expect fairness. But when you don't get it, uh, what you think that you earned, you get frustrated concerning that. And then it's internal frustration, which turns into emotional distance. And so you're internalizing it because you're not getting it, but you're not even able to express what you
Mhm.
need
Right.
because it's transactional. And so you just know within yourself you're expecting something that they're not giving you, but you can't even communicate that because you don't even understand why you're feeling that. And so that's another danger of a transactional marriage.
Yeah, and that's true for those who may be joining us. We're talking about transactional and transformation of marriages.
Yeah.
uh, and we're talking about the dangers and the power of transformation in a marriage. And one of the other dangers of regarding a transactional marriage is conflict builds competition.
Hmm. Right.
Now your argument isn't about understanding; they're about who's winning.
Hmm.
Who's right, who said this first.
Yeah.
It isn't about understanding one another. It's about, well, you have those because we're all going to have conflicts in our
Hmm.
marriages, but when we understand it and how can we grow from that, we don't try to be the winner, like who started this, who's right, who's wrong. It isn't about who's right, who's wrong,
Right.
or who said this first, who said this second. It's about understanding that and where can you grow from that.
Yeah. And then love becomes conditional. It becomes affection turned into leverage, and that's holding back when we shouldn't be holding back, right? And support becomes for performance based, and kindness depends on behavior. So it's like I'm only going to be nice, or I'm only going to do this because they, did something nice for me, and then that you're able to, yeah, you go to bed, and hold them back, and that's not good for a marriage either. And so it becomes very conditional, like what am I getting? And then I'm not giving anything if they're not giving anything, so that's another danger of transactional marriage.
Marriage, which is rough because you know, you become distant in
Yeah.
that, and there's really no true connection because you only responding to what they do
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and not just responding because of the covenant that you
Yeah.
have with your spouse.
Right.
You're responding to, well, if she do this for me, then I'll do that for her.
Yeah.
And over time, that corrodes a relationship. It corrodes a marriage,
Yeah.
and you tend to, fall out of love with that
Mm-hmm.
situation when you go transactional, back and forth. Well, I won't do this because you don't do this for me, or I'll do this, if you do this for me, and it's not a true connection because of the one time they don't do it from you.
Yeah.
Now there's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the dangers of having a transactional marriage.
And that's interesting because you're saying the one time they don't do it for you,
Mhm.
even though it's something that you are accustomed to them doing it, and they continue to do this certain thing, but then when they don't, you get mad because you're only performing because of what they did, not because of what they did before, but what you're expecting of them. And so that becomes a little dangerous as well because you're used to them doing something, but now they're not doing it, and now you're mad because that one time that they missed,
Yes.
you know, you're mad at that, and so now you're holding back again, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. That is so awesome.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about the power of a transformational
Yeah,
marriage.
and
You
that's
know,
what we're striving for is a transformational marriage, not transitional, but transformation marriage. That's something that it should be our goal in marriage,
right,
to have a transformational
right.
marriage.
And transformation isn't about, well, it isn't about exchange. It's
Yeah.
about growth.
Hmm.
You begin to ask better questions when you transform. Like, what am I getting? Not not what am I getting, but who am I becoming?
Yeah.
These are some questions that you're going to answer.
Hmm.
And one of the things that it focuses on your personal growth.
Hmm.
Your marriage becomes a mirror. It reveals your pride. It exposes your impatience that you have.
Hmm.
It highlights the communication gap that you have between one another. So instead of blaming your spouse or, for what they reveal to you in the marriage, you take responsibility for that
Yeah.
and what you need to refine, what you need to grow, and the things you need to do to enhance that, to improve that.
Yeah.
So that's what transformation marriage does. It focuses on your personal growth,
Yeah.
and it doesn't just blame your spouse or anybody else for the things that you're going through or the things that you're doing,
Yeah.
but instead you focus on how can I grow, how can I be
Yeah.
better at that,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
maturity.
In its self-reflection. You're not getting mad because somebody did something or didn't do something, but you're transformational. You're really looking
Mhm.
at yourself and how can I be a better spouse for my husband or for my wife. And so that's what more so transformational is. You're not pointing the
Right.
finger, but you're looking in the mirror at yourself. And so that's what we really want, and that's what marriage is really about, because marriage is a mirror, and we need to make sure that we're looking at ourselves and not taking anything personal,
Yes.
because a lot of times we just take things personal, and we end up responding to looking at it as conflict when it's really not, but it's just something that we have to look at ourselves for personal growth.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That is so true. That is
Yeah.
so true. And another thing of the power of the transformational marriage, it creates emotional safety.
Yeah.
Because when love is tied to performance, you become secure in that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not serving to get anything back. You know, you're serving because you're committed to that relationship.
Hmm.
So that's one of the good things about a transformational marriage, because you're not. It's not based off your performance. Surely, just that alone. You become secure in who you are,
Yeah.
and you're serving because you committed
Yeah.
to them, not
Right.
just serving to. I'm doing this because I want you to do this to me back. That's not what a transformational marriage
Hmm.
is. You serving because you're committed to that person. You're committed to the growth of that person. So you're doing things to help them grow as well
Yeah.
to help yourself grow. So it's not what you can get back from that
Yeah.
totally. It's about the growth that you can grow together and expand and be better.
Yeah. God bless you, Sister Cora. How are you?
Yes,
Yeah. And then another thing, again, we're talking about transactional compared to transformational type marriages, and why we should desire a more transformational marriage, because that really causes us to grow as individuals as well as in our marriage. And so conflict also, uh, it becomes a classroom in a transformational type marriage. And so disagreements aren't battles they're actually lessons, and they're good lessons because your lesson is teaching us how we can grow through this. And so that's why we want a transformational marriage, because we want to know, how can I be a better person? How am I growing in this? And am I helping my spouse to grow in this? And so that's another example of a transformational marriage. You're looking at it as a lesson, and not um, something that's going to harm you, but something that's going to help you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It is so true. Because, we get into those situations where when we have conflict, we want to blame the other person,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
Often. Yeah.
often, and instead of using it
Hmm.
as a avenue or tool to figure out, hey, how can I grow in this situation?
Hmm.
What is this conflict teaching me about myself? How I receive things, how I view things,
Yeah.
and understand that. And when you do that part of it, then you can better communicate with your spouse, because now you say, hey, well, what do I know about myself because I got mad or angry because certain things were said or done.
Hmm.
So what is that saying about me? What do I need to grow? What do I need to see that could help me, better yet, not become so emotionally, distrusted or angry? What do I need to do about myself to understand
Yeah.
where I can navigate this situation?
Hmm.
So it helps you to grow, and
Hmm.
so that's one of the good things. Another thing is it deepens your relationship, your
Hmm.
partnership,
Yeah.
where you both are committed to evolving, to grow,
Yeah.
to
That's good.
strengthen your relationship in every area that you need to do it in, because when you have a transformational marriage, you start communicating better.
Yeah.
You know, the respect that you have for your spouse, it increases because you know that you're trying to grow. So you don't take it personal.
Yeah.
So you respect who they are, you respect the things, the values, you respect their emotions as well.
Yeah.
And so you determine how can we grow from that. So it deepens the relationship. You get a better understanding of how you explain things to them, how they explain things to you. You're not trying to win in every
Right.
situation. You're trying to build on what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that transformational marriage does, is deepens that partnership that you have between one another, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Whereas a transactional marriage, you don't really deepen
Mm.
your emotions or your commitment to one another, because it's only based off what you do for me and what I can do for you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help strengthen a relationship in any area, because there's really no need to really communicate, because if you're not doing it for me, then I'm not going to do it for you. So
Hmm.
the communication is not there. It's only what you can do for me and I can do for you.
Yeah.
So the transformational marriage, it strengthens and deepens you, where you can communicate better and you can respect one another more.
And what I hear you saying in so many words is a transformational marriage. It really builds trust. It means I trust you, and what you're saying about me is not come to harm me, but it's come to help me, and it's helping me to be a better person, help me to be a better spouse. And so, transactional marriage is not trusting, because I don't really think I could trust you if you're going to come through for me. And so, just in case, I'm going to hold back. So I'm not doing too much, because I'm not going to do any more than you're doing. So it's
Right.
tit for tat, mainly in a transactional marriage, and it's not trusting at all. But a transformational marriage, I trust you. I totally trust you. And I know that you have my best interest at heart, and that you're going to only do good for me. And so I can, be myself, and it's okay to make mistakes, because if it's a mistake, I know that you're going to correct me in love. And because you trust me like that, and because you love me like that, I can trust to be more transformative, and then instead of being transactional. And so again, that's the type of marriage that we're striving for, is a transformative marriage. And the reason we are so big on this transformation
Mhm.
is really because we just came out of this conference, and it's a kingdom transformation, and it just brought to light in so many different areas in our life about how to be transformative in our life. And we just thought, hey, what about in our marriage? We need to be a transformative marriage, because if we don't, then we
Yeah.
can never operate in love and operate in trust. And so we have to be transformative in our marriage to where we can build, because we can't build on a transactional marriage.
Right. And then that just refers back to the beginning. It refers back to God.
Hmm.
God was not a transactional God. He's not a
Hmm.
transactional God.
Right.
You know, God did things because he loved you. He loved us,
Hmm.
and he wanted us to grow. It wasn't based on what we can do for God.
Hmm.
Because if it was, we wouldn't be here.
Hmm.
It was the love that God has for us, and the expectation that he can give us, that we can grow from that
Yeah.
and learn how to love and be as him, as being transformational in our relationship,
Yeah.
is going to enhance our communication
Yeah.
that we have with God. So it all revolves back into, like my wife spoke earlier, transformation, that we've been going through this series talking
Yeah.
about transformation,
Yeah.
kingdom transformation. And it just hit me that we need to understand that we do the same thing in our marriage.
Yeah.
And I know I was guilty of that earlier, where it was basically, transactional things.
Hmm.
But we want to put this out here where you can get a better understanding and know where you at in your marriage, in your relationship. Are you being transactional, or are you
Hmm.
being transformative?
Hmm.
And it makes a big difference in how you relate to your spouse, and how you're going to grow as a person, how your marriage is going to grow,
Yeah.
whether you're in a transactional relationship or a transformative relationship, which is going to help you to grow and understand and prosper more. So it's a great series, a great thing that we were doing earlier, but we just want to make people aware of that, and where they can get a better understanding on where they're at in their relationship and how their marriage can grow,
Yeah.
and understand when they're going down an avenue of a transactional relationship in marriage, opposed to a transformative. So
Yeah, transactional. Yeah. Good morning, Jaquay. How are you? Good morning.
good morning.
And so, yes, again, it's that's just something that we're striving for, is a transformational marriage, not transactional, but a
Right.
transformational marriage. And so the difference of the two is transactional marriage maintains a relationship. Transformation no marriage it elevates the relationship. And so a transaction, it maintains, you're maintained long as I'm doing one thing and you're doing the next, so it's maintained. But a transformational marriage, it elevates you as a person, it elevates you as a spouse. And so that's the difference between the two.
And that's so true.
Hmm.
So the real question isn't what am I owed,
Hmm.
but where are we becoming?
Yeah. Wow.
So it's not that you owe me something. So what do you owe me because I did this for you? It's not about that. The
Hmm.
real question is, what are we becoming? Are we growing as one? Are we fulfilling our needs, our desire that God has for us?
Yeah.
Are we doing that? It's not about what you owe me. It's not
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah.
It's all about what we are becoming as one, what we are becoming in our purpose. What are we designed to do and
Yeah.
called to do?
That's it
So
right there.
that's what the real thing is. That's where the transformation comes in, because now we're being transformed and we're being molded into that fear of what we are called to be and who
Yeah.
we're called to be,
Right.
opposed to, well, if you won't do it for me, then why should I do it for
Right.
you?
Yeah. And
Yes.
in marriage, it's not personal.
Hmm.
It's not personal. It's not about you. in a marriage. And so if you are a type of person that you think it's all about you and it's only about you, then you probably can't get married or shouldn't get married, because it's all about serving, and it's about that other person. It's about God's purpose for your marriage. And so, and that really transform
Mhm.
the marriage, because when you realize that it's not about you but it's about kingdom purpose. Why are God calling you together? You think that you're together because you love him and he loves you. God has a greater uh, purpose in mind for marriage, and so you have to come together as one to seek his will for your marriage. Why am I with this person? God, what is your purpose for our marriage? And if our marriage is supposed to mirror Christ and his church, that there's a greater reason for the two of you coming together. And so you cannot be selfish in marriage. And so that's why it's so dangerous to have a transactional marriage. You're only doing for me because we help us one to another. Sometimes you may have to give, that 90% when they're only giving 10%. Or you have to, be the bigger person. Sometimes you have to take the high road, which I often have to. No, just
But
kidding there, just kidding. But it's not always, it's hardly ever about you,
but
right?
but no, but just giving what you were saying, most people think, well, it's a 50-50,
Right.
but actually it's not.
It's not
What it
ever
is,
holler.
what it
Yeah.
is a 100.
Yep.
You give 100, I give 100.
Right.
It's not about me giving half of what I have to give.
Hmm.
It's about being whole,
Yeah.
giving the whole you.
Yeah.
Because
All of me, all of you.
because when we give less of ourselves,
Yeah.
we're only hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
We're only hurting the relationship when we
Hmm.
give less of ourselves. So we have to get 100% of ourselves,
Yeah.
and not 50. It's not 50-50 as people say. Well,
Yeah.
I'm 50%. No, it's 100%.
Yeah. All the
I'm gonna
time.
give you
Yeah.
all of me, and you give me all of you.
Hmm.
As my wife was just
Singing.
graciously singing. And
I
that
need your
way,
praise for that one.
right, and that way you can grow in your relationship. You can grow in every aspect of your life because you're giving 100%
Yeah.
of that, and it's not based on what you've done for me and what I can do for you, but
Hmm.
it's based on what I'm giving you to help you grow
Right.
and to help me grow and to help me
Yeah.
understand where I'm at in my life.
Hmm.
Because there are situations where you may think you're all of this, you may think you that,
Hmm.
but truly you're not.
Yeah.
But your spouse is helping you
Hmm.
grow. And when you understand where you're at, like
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
earlier, when you have those conflict, it isn't about who wins or who loses.
Hmm.
It's about you identifying in yourself,
Yeah.
what do I need to grow?
Right.
What part
In
did
what
I,
area? Yeah.
what area of my life did I need to grow?
Yeah.
What Why am I responding or why am I reacting in such a way when certain things are said or certain things are done? So
Hmm.
that's going to help you grow emotionally and mature. It's going to mature you enough to understand that where it doesn't affect you, it doesn't cause damage to your
Yeah.
relationship because now you understand the growth that you need to take, to understand where you at in your life, where you
Yeah.
at in your marriage. So so it's not based on, well, you didn't do this for me last week. I asked you to do this and you didn't do. It's not about that. It's about where can we grow at? Where
Yeah.
can we expand our relationship where it can blossom, where it can prosper, where we don't have the
Tit for
transactional
tat. Yeah.
things in our relationship where, like I said earlier, the minute you don't do it, now there's a big issue. Now there's a
Yeah.
problem. Now
Yeah.
I don't like you because you didn't do this for me,
Mhm.
And it may be an issue that something may have happened. You can't do it,
Yeah.
but
And it's
if
okay.
and it's okay. But if you're transformative and you understand it and you communicate it, it's not going to be an issue.
Right.
But when you rely on that transactional relationship,
Hmm.
it's going to be detrimental because
Yeah.
now it's only about because you didn't do this for me last week, so why should I do this for you?
Hmm.
Or I did this for you, now you should do this for me. It's
Right.
not about that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to say good morning, Lisa. How are you? Good morning, Sister Brent. Love y'all
Good
so much.
morning. Good morning.
Good
Thank you guys for
morning.
joining us.
Yes. And so, again, this morning we're on a live, Jerry and I, because it's the first Monday of the month. And we like to come just to get a feel for the audience and see what's going on. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can put it in the comments. But we do ask that if you're married or you know of any married couples that would like to come on and be a guest on our broadcast, please shoot us an inbox, let us know that we'll be more than happy to talk to you and send you all the details about becoming a part
Mhm.
of this broadcast. Okay. Good morning, Sister Karen. Love you so
So
much.
much.
Transformational, not transactional. And that's exactly it. And that's exactly what we're talking
But
about is a transactional versus transformational type marriages. And what should we be desiring during this time? So yeah,
and
thank you, Sister Karen. She said she loved this
right.
conversation.
And then that's just even in your daily your daily actions in your daily relationships with your friends
Yeah,
and coworkers.
yeah,
It is you have to be transformative in everything in every situation because you can grow in every
yeah.
situation. So
Sure.
it's not about a friend can do this for you, and then if they don't do this for you, then you're angry with them because they didn't do this for you.
Yes,
It,
not
it's
a
not
friend.
about
Hmm.
it's not about that. It's about how can you grow me? How can I grow you?
Hmm.
How can we grow as one together? And
Hmm.
that's what a transformative relationship or
Hmm.
marriage relationship is helping us grow
Yeah,
and helping us succeed and be better at
yeah,
what we are and who we are,
yeah.
opposed to being transactional where, well, no, I can. If you didn't buy me dinner last week, so why should I buy you dinner this week? It isn't about
Yeah.
that. It isn't about that. And I know sometimes we tend to fall in that
Hmm.
situation. And we really don't think about it, the mindset of it, but it happens, and
Yeah.
it happens in every relationship.
Yeah.
But understanding that
Hmm.
and knowing, hey, if I continue in this vein, this is not going to be healthy
Yeah.
for our
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
So I need to transform and become a better person
Yeah. And take the high
and
road.
take the high
Yeah.
road and become a better person in
Yeah.
order for me to grow, in order for
Hmm.
the relationship to grow.
Yeah.
And that's where it, and that's why we're giving this live today,
Hmm.
because we've all been in that situation where we've been in a transactional relationship or a
Yeah.
transactional marriage. But understanding that and knowing that it's not about what I can do for you and what you can do for me, is how can I help you grow?
Yeah.
How can I grow in myself
Yeah.
and where we can become one, that we become better?
Yes.
So in understanding that and know when you're in that transactional relationship opposed to that transformational relationship.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's always important to know where you stand and where you are. And we're striving again to
Mhm.
be in a transformational relationship in every area of our life, not just in marriage, but in every area of our life. Are we in a transformational um, relationship because we are in people's lives to help them to grow, and we are in people's lives so that we may grow as
Yeah,
well, right?
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, so we hope that this topic we talked about
Yeah.
today, we hope that it inspires you to just take
Hmm.
a look at what your relationship is,
Hmm.
how your marriage is being transformed. Is it being transformed? Are you being transformed? Are you in a transactional marriage? Are you
Hmm.
in a transactional relationship?
Yeah.
So, and understanding that and what you need to do to change that, and just giving you some of the dangers of
Yeah.
being in a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
So we ask that you guys, just if you know some people who I'm not gonna say you think they're in a transactional relationship. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that. But if you know that it's something that you can help someone with, share this live.
Yeah. Hmm.
Even come back and review it later if you think that you may be in a transactional relationship,
Yeah.
and understanding the steps and because it's always going to give you a pattern
Hmm.
when you're in a transactional
Yeah.
relationship. You're always going to have a pattern. So identifying that pattern and knowing that, hey, this is the result of a transactional relationship. So what can I do to transform this, to make it a transformative relationship where we can grow together,
Yeah.
opposed to you get what I get because you give me this,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll give you this and you give me that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it'll help you grow. So
Yeah.
this, you know, and I had to really think about this,
Mm-hmm.
because I had to admit, hey, I was in earlier in my stages of marriage and things like that. I was in a transactional
Mm-hmm.
relationship, but like my wife says, we've been in a series of kingdom transformation that's been going on, and just identifying and just sitting back and looking and see, how are you responding? Are you growing? Are you seeing who does the most? Are
Yeah.
you trying to win every conversation? Are you trying to win everything and be right, and always question, well, you did this and did that? That is not helping you grow. That
Yes.
is hindering you.
Yeah.
So, and I had to look at that as well and see where my life was and see where our
Mm-hmm.
marriage was, and we had to shift,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what a transformation does. It shifts you from one situation to another.
Yeah.
And just like a butterfly, caterpillar, you get that transformation. You shift from that, you know, caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen when your
Yeah.
marriage and your
Yeah.
relationship, when you transform from understanding who you are and what you're really called to be, and growing in that, it's going to become beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Amen. And so, hi, good morning, Ann. Good morning, Tat Tot Gevins. Hi.
Good morning.
So yeah, so I mean, this is really good. I really appreciate this conversation because again, we're transforming in every area of our life, but especially those you all that we're in relationship with, and it's just the world that we are in right now. In today's world, we really have to be even more conscious about being transformative because people need you. They need the real you. They need the authentic you, and not. I mean, we don't have time for the petty tactics. I'm only doing something for you because what I'm getting out of it. It's time out for that, and we have to become more of giving more of ourselves, regardless if they're giving back to us or not. We have to make sure that we're in the position to where we are being transformed, transformed to where we are able to give, even when it's not reciprocated. So, and it's okay. It's okay. Nobody's using you. Nobody's taking advantage of you. You're being used of God, and just
Right.
look at it like that. All right.
Right. And when we're like my wife saying, we're not advocating, you being abused or
Right.
anything like
Right.
that.
Hmm.
So, because when you become transform,
Yeah.
you'll understand the situation that you're in,
Yeah.
and you know whether to stay or go.
Yeah.
So we're not telling you to be transformed and give and give, you know,
With abuse
with
there.
abuse. We're
Yeah.
not advocating that.
Yeah. Definitely.
But when you become transformed in relationship and you're trying to grow in that relationship, and you're speaking to that relationship and it doesn't go, then hey, you know what transformation and transactional
You're right.
relationships are.
Yeah.
So do you want to be in a transactional relationship, or you want to be transformed?
Yeah. Yeah, just listen to that inward man, because the inward man will always tell you what's right and what's wrong. And that does not change.
Definitely.
He will always let us know. So, yeah, that's about it, y'all. That's it. But you all, thank you all so much for coming on. We do appreciate each and every person. We thank you for staying in with us, the comments, the shares, the likes, and we just thank you for the encouragement because this means a lot. We don't take this time for granted, and we truly believe that when God gives us something to say, that we have to share it because there's somebody out there that needs to hear what He's asking us to share with you all. So again, thanks so much for coming on today.
Hey, we really appreciate it. Like I said,
Mhm.
just please like and share. We know there's maybe those who may want to view this later uh,
Yeah.
on replay, and you maybe want to encourage someone to
Yeah.
grow
Hmm.
in their transformation in all parts aspects of their lives,
Yeah.
not just marriage, but in
Mm.
all aspects of their life,
Correct.
to
Yeah.
understand what transaction and
Yeah.
transformations are.
Mm.
So we appreciate you guys taking this morning time out in this morning to be with us, to help us encourage other people.
Yeah.
So that's what we love. That's why we're here, to encourage, to just give good godly information that we believe God has downloaded into us to share with
Hmm.
you all today.
Amen. And so that's it.
Yeah.
You have an
So
encouraging word
so
to
I do
end with?
have an encouraging quote today. We talked about transactional
Yeah.
and transformation. So the quote I have today is, nothing happens until the pain of remaining the same outweighs the pain of change.
Say that
And
again.
we're going to say that again. Nothing happens until the pain of remaining the same outweighs the pain of change.
Wow, that's good.
So you
Yeah.
have to understand that when you remain the same and you don't grow, there is real painful.
Yeah.
And you're really not gonna change that until that pain gets so bad where you have to.
Wow. Yeah.
So nothing
Wow.
changes until the pain of remaining the same outweighs the change.
Wow, that's good right there. Good morning, Apostle Thomas. How are you?
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thanks for joining
Yeah.
us.
Yes. So
So,
that's it for today, you all. We ask that you do like and share. Also, follow us on Bridging Hearts Facebook page, as well as subscribing to our YouTube page. And that's it for today, right?
that is it. That
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah. So thanks again, you all.
We
God
really
bless you
appreciate
all.
you. God bless you guys.
God bless you. What am I doing? Bye bye, y'all.
We know love's a battle, but we're still holding tight. Got a card game to spark up the flame again. Reignite the fire with your lifelong friend. Love is a gift, oh, straight from above. Designed for his purpose, sealed with his love. Every tear, every laugh, every baby, I'm sorry. It's all part of the story. To him be the glory. Age